Welcome to another video. Am I happy to have my friend and athlete Antonis Kilakidis again? Yet another session. That was the day after the axle overhead presses that we did. And this is the reason why I didn't join him in the bench press after the overheads and so forth. I didn't do any accessories or lat pull downs or anything because I wanted to keep my deadlifts fresh. I wanted to stay relatively fresh. I'm sure it took away a little bit of strength, but I mean, it just that doesn't matter. I mean, so we went through a lot of cues. This is Antonis' first time being coached through a deadlift. All this time he had been deadlifting on his own, by whatever clips he would probably see on YouTube or whatever, and some tips from me online. But I mean, it was never hands-on. So this is the first session. He's been lifting for nearly 2 years now. I'd say a year and a half. And this is the first session that somebody says, do this, sit back, sit further back, bend your knees more. Put the weight on your, you want to feel the weight on your heels. And, I keep telling him, rotate your arms so your triceps kind of like engage with your lats in a way, right? I said it's kind of like bench pressing. You kind of rotate the arm, you squeeze, you tighten everything. Everything is flexed. I said to him, the only thing that's not flexing when I'm deadlifting is probably my eyebrows, which are probably flexing as I'm deadlifting. And so he's trying out some, he didn't go heavy. Plus, he hasn't deadlifted in about 85 days. Right after the Circus Strongman Classic competition, he'd never deadlifted again. Whilst, for speaking for myself, I was, in the best shape ever, as you will see. And of course, I was preparing to do all these heavy PRs that I've been doing in those lifts that I rotate this month in December, because January and February I'll be going back to, like heavy, but geared towards a more volume style training. I won't be testing myself in January. Not as much, at least. Not as much. So he didn't go that heavy. He went to, that's 150 kgs. And he took that one with me. That's 170 kgs. That was on my way up. And I keep telling him, you gotta, I told him about bracing. He didn't know how to brace. He hadn't been bracing all this time, which I find he's very, very lucky not to get injured. And, the whole thing, like, you gotta feel the weight kind of like center foot and towards your heels, if not your heels. You want to, stand straight and kind of fall backwards. Obviously, you don't want to fall backwards. But I said, as soon as you feel like it's kind of pulling you back, that's when you stand. And this is why he's testing this weight. I'm sure he could pull it a lot easier with his old technique, but we don't want to use that old technique where he was yanking the bar and bending his arms. He was doing a lot of bicep, kind of like bent over rows, but as he was locking out, which is, that is not recommended for your bicep. It's terrible for your biceps. And so he just tried the 170 kgs for once, and then he went back down to 150, which it was not super light. And I should have probably recommended he stayed at 140 kgs, just a little bit less. You see here, he's kind of trying, I'm like, keep your back straight and as much as you can, of course. He's a big dude. The guy is like 350, I think, 340 pounds. He's 150 kilograms, 149. And here's my 224 kgs. Like I said before, those thinner black plates are 20.5 kgs. And yes, I know I'm a detailed psycho. And also when I'm maxing out, every kilo counts. So in so many other sets and video clips, I don't really count the, 0.5s. But when I'm maxing out and, it's almost 12 pounds up with these plates, not including the PR, which I got, which is, it makes me very, very happy. Here's got, like more of a front view. He tends to extend his legs, to straighten his legs first but it's not terrible. He just needs work, you know. Here's a 535 for me, 243 kilograms, as I'm adding more of those skinny black plates, which are 20.5 kgs, like I said. And that was like a kind of like a triumph for me. And this isn't even my bigger triumph because this is not like the actual deadlift. Like I told him, like if you see me talking to him in the videos,
Bravo.
I'm just enjoying that lift, man. Like I said to him, the actual deadlift in the strongman competitions is right under the kneecap, which makes it easier. Like these block pulls, I would say they're about third pin in the power cage, third pin to fourth. Like it's somewhere between there, and they're just above mid shin, which makes it, to me, that's my weakest spot. Which means if I had added another couple of inches, I would have definitely done 10 to 20 kgs more easily. And like I told him in the video clip, like when we're talking amongst ourselves, I said, you know, also from the floor, it's also a bit easier, just a little bit, because you use that elasticity. You know, you stretch the muscles fully, like your hamstrings, your glutes, your erectors, of course. I mean, to me, the floor is easier than the third pin in the power cage. To me, at least, that's a weakness, and obviously to him, that's a weakness too, because he didn't have an easy time picking it up. Here we're trying the Xerxers. I think that's his second time ever. You can see he's got trouble with his depth. That is pretty much the deepest he's been. And I mean, he kind of wanted to add more weight, which I didn't let him. As in, you know, go as deep as you can and, you know, worry about the weight later. I mean, I can't be too harsh. He's very, very new to like lower body. He really hasn't squatted much, maybe a couple of times. Because where he used to train, I mean, with the COVID and all the gyms being shut down, the dude has no access to like a squat rack or even a Smith machine, you know, in which I have access into. And so he's attempting again the Xerxers. I'm trying to like center him there, like watch the forearms and, you know, don't twist the forearms too much and kind of like hug it. I mean, he's got huge arms. He's a big dude, so I'm sure that's a lot easier for him than it is for me. And so yeah, the guy didn't have access to a lot of things to train legs. No leg extensions, no hamstring curls, no you know, like leg curls, pretty much anything. So that's why he asked me. That's when he asked me to do some leg press as well. I said I'm not gonna follow you because, you know, I got my PR. I did a few Xerxers and I just kind of stopped. But he told me he hadn't used the leg press in like a year. So I said, yeah, man, sure, go ahead. So he did like 3 sets. And this is a smaller platform. I told him it's harder than it looks. Like the bigger platforms, I've done a lot more weight. Literally, on a bigger, nicer platform, I've done like 550 kgs. On this platform, I've done 365 kgs for 5. And that was pretty heavy. And that's his final set. I think that's oh yeah, okay, that's 225. Which is, I mean, you know, it's just a matter of time for him to be flying with these weights, man. It's just, you know, it takes time to establish the strength. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We will try to do more videos together. It was an absolute pleasure to have him there and to help him with this technique and form. I'm very happy about my PR. Subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.